Today, I'll be ranking my top 10 LEGO Star Wars sets based off the Attack of the Clones. Now, this is going to be my personal list, so I'm sure you all are going to disagree on at least a few. And if you do, or have any others you think I missed for this list, make sure to let me know that down below. Anyway, though, I won't waste any more time, and I'll get right to number 10. Which is the 10026 Naboo Starfighter. Now, right away, I'm sure you're thinking this is not an Episode 2 set, but it actually technically is. This set was listed as based off the Attack of the Clones, as even though you might not think about it initially, the movie does start with Naboo starfighters escorting Padme's ship. This set released back in 2002 for $40. Now that being said, that is also another knock of why I have it at number 10, because even though it is technically based off this movie, it doesn't really feel like it should be. But it had to be on the list because it is a really great set. It's a pretty solid Naboo starfighter, and it has the all chrome pieces on the front that really just make it pop and are so incredibly good that it's just so disappointing we probably will never see pieces used like that again. Now that chrome does come with an extra price tag though, as the set is $40, which would seem crazy for 187 pieces, but again, it's that chrome that jacks up the price. This is a very cool set though for those chrome pieces. Unfortunately, I just felt like I couldn't put it any higher on the list just because of the fact that it does feel like a Phantom Menace set, even though, like I said, it is technically based off Attack of the Clones. Ninth on this list is the 75333 Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. Now this is obviously a newer set that just released in 2022 and is actually still available right now. It retails for $30, has 282 pieces, and comes with 3 minifigures. All these minifigs are unique to the set and really a big selling point of it, especially the Kaminoan figure. It's very good and one of the few, if only, times we've seen a Kaminoan represented in minifigure form. As for the Starfighter itself, it is a pretty darn good model. It gets the shape down very well, and with the brand new stud shooters they have, I think those just fit so well on the Starfighter, as they look decent and offer a good bit of playability. I think it's just a very even deal for $30, and it's just a very balanced LEGO set. Right above this set in the 8th spot is the 75017 Duel on Geonosis. This set was released back in 2013 for $40, and it came with 4 minifigures and 391 pieces. Now, when I say 4 minifigures, I say that lightly, as if we're being real, it's only 3, and there's that kind of droid pilot that's also included that drives Count Dooku's solar sailor for him. I'm not sure why they included that droid over other options for a 4th minifigure. It does kind of drag that lineup down a little bit, but the rest of the figures are too good and they make up for it. Yoda obviously isn't anything too special. We see him enough. Still a good figure though, but Count Dooku and Poggle the Lesser are amazing. They both look phenomenal, and it's such a rare sight to see them. So this set having both of them in a $40 price tag and makes the set very desirable. I will say the build does kind of work against this set though. It's not really bad, but it's more of a backdrop. I feel like it has enough play features that it works, but overall the build just feels kind of lame and lackluster. You do get Count Dooku's speeder, so that would have paired nicely with the gunship that also came out around the same time. So you can kind of do that chase scene. And I definitely think this set benefited from being on the shelf right next to the gunship. That set does have Obi-Wan and Anakin, which are the other figures that you would have included in this set. I would definitely say that's why they're not included here. I think that was their reasoning at the time for it. And this set does offer some playability and some fun to be able to reenact that final duel on Geonosis, but I feel like it doesn't offer quite enough visually. Claiming the 7th spot on the list is the 40558 Clone Trooper Command Station. The set released in 2022 for $15. It came with 3 minifigures and 66 pieces. Now this is one of the 2 minifigure packs they did, and this thing was so hard to get when it came out. And for good reason. It's very solid for $15. You get 2 normal Phase 1 clones as well as a Phase 1 Commander. They all look really good, and the new style they brought with combining the realistic and the animated clones, I think was a really good choice, as in the past having 2 different variations of the same trooper was just kind of annoying. Now, as neat as that clone commander is, I will say it hurts the army building potential of this set, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a con against, but I really wouldn't call him a good thing either for the set. It has both its pros and cons that I can't really hold it against it or for it. Now being $15 and more of a battle pack style, the build obviously isn't anything crazy, but I do like it. It's a very small, shrunken down version of the Ford Command Center, as well as a kind of blaster rack to go right next to it. And even though they're not anything crazy, I definitely do enjoy them, and I think they did a good job. And they accompany these figures well to kind of just bring it all together and make for a solid set. My sixth spot is taken by the 75015 Corporate Alliance Tank Droid. Now this set released back in 2013 for $20. It came with 3 minifigures and 271 pieces. Now those 3 minifigures were all really great. Of course, the star figure here is the Jango Fett figure. Very good all around, and it's so unfortunate we haven't seen him for so long. I would really love to see a new version of him with arm printing, as that's really the only thing this figure is missing. Accompanying him in this set is 1 clone trooper and 1 battle droid. Now the battle droid is the Geonosian color, which I really love. The only thing I would say is maybe they should have included another droid. As maybe it's just me, but I really enjoyed that color scheme on the droids. For $20 though, you can't really ask for too much more because they are including a very good build. This Corporate Alliance tank droid is very good looking. I think they really knocked it out of the park with this build, and they really hit all the details you could have wanted for the set. And for a low price of $20, I think you're definitely getting your money's worth here. Sitting in the middle of the list at number 5 is the 75016 Homing Spider Droid. This set released in 2013 for $30. Came with 4 minifigures and 295 pieces. Of these 4 minifigures, you have 2 Super Battle Droids, a Clone Trooper, and a Jedi. Now, I'm not going to try to pronounce her name, but she's really an awesome looking alien, and a figure I definitely would have liked to add to my Jedi collection. The builds accompanying these guys are a small spider droid as well as a big homing spider droid. The smaller spider droid is kind of the same build we've been seeing for a while now, and it's good. They've pretty much refined it at this point. There's not much more I can say about it other than just it's a nice inclusion on top of what you're already getting here. The big homing spider droid, however, though, is very good looking. I honestly just love the way this set looks. The 4 super skinny legs coming together to meet the big body, and the cannons on top and below are perfectly detailed with those extra tubes going around that really make it feel premium. Now, while I don't think the build or the minifigures stand out on their own, both of them for $30 I think is just such a good deal, and this pairing just makes such a good set for $30. Coming in fourth is the 75191 Jedi Starfighter with Hyperdrive. This set released in 2017 for $100. It came with 4 minifigures and 825 pieces. Now, the Jedi Starfighter in this set is very, very comparable to the one I had on this list earlier. Although I will say if I had to pick between that one and this one, I would probably go with this one, as I think I just like the bigger pieces they used in the front. Now, what was missing from that earlier set was the big ring. The Hyperdrive ring in this set is so good. They did a solid job building it, and it just is such a statement. It's very big. I know it might be hard to tell in pictures, but it is very big. Like, it earns that $100 price tag. They don't always make the Hyperdrive ring that often, so getting it here was really neat, and it's a really cool display piece. The minifigs accompanying this build, too, are just the cherry on top. It is the perfect lineup for the set. You have Obi-Wan, Jango Fett, Boba Fett, and R4. Now, for $100, I will say that might be kind of scarce. They probably could have included one more minifigure, especially considering one was an astromech. But these figures we do get are really good. And it comes together to create what I think is a very good play set and a good set for display. In third, we have the 4478 Geonosian Fighter. Now, this one's an older set coming out in 2003. It retailed for $20. It came with 4 minifigures and 170 pieces. Now, I know this one might get some of you wondering why I put this one on the list so high, but for $20, I think it's just a really solid deal. The Geonosian Fighter looks really good and still holds up to today, in my opinion. So does the cannon, honestly. Both the builds are very similar to what we would get today if they remade this set. So for how old it is, I think it did an amazing job. The figures, too, are also very good and stand well to the test of time. You get 2 battle droids, and I absolutely love the color on these guys, as it's probably the most accurate to the movie, and I really wish they'd bring this color back, as I just love how it looks on them. There are also 2 Geonosians accompanying them. One of them even has wings on, and both these guys are pretty fun to get too. I don't think they were released in really any other set, definitely for a while, and even adjusting for inflation, I think you got a fairly solid bargain. Moving on to our runner-up, we have the 75019 ATTE. This set also released in 2013, a common theme if you've noticed. This one retailed for $90 and it came with 5 minifigures as well as 794 pieces. Starting off with those figures, again we got 2 of those B1 battle droids in that same Geonosian color scheme they chose in 2013, which does look very good, and one of them even has the yellow marking for a commander. The 2 Jedi included are Mace Windu and Coleman Trebor. Now, Mace Windu we've seen enough, and while it's a good figure, it's nothing exciting, but the Coleman figure is really neat. It's the only time we've seen him, and he was always one of my favorite looking Jedi from that film, and so to see him in a minifigure form was just so amazing. And I think many people agree because this figure goes for high bucks nowadays. The last figure is a Clone Trooper Commander with the yellow markings. Now this one's made in the realistic style, and I absolutely adore what they did with the visors on these guys. It's kind of a reflective, it's not like really reflective, but it gives the illusion that it is. I love that look, and I don't think people bring it up enough when they're talking about clone troopers because it looks absolutely amazing on some of these Phase 1 troopers they released back in 2013. Now, obviously, the big selling point for this set is the build, the ATTE. This is a very solid ATTE. And even though I'd say the one we had today recently that was based off Revenge of the Sith, that one's probably a little bit better, this one still holds its own plenty fine. Especially when you consider this one is $90 compared to the one today, which is $140. It's such a big price difference, even when you account for the inflation. With that set out of the way, we now down to our number 1 spot. And I'm sure you all guessed this from the beginning. To no one's surprise, it's the 75021 Republic gunship. This set released in 2013 for $120. It came with 7 minifigures and 1,175 pieces. The minifigure selection is amazing. The other clone trooper is a clone trooper captain. He looks absolutely amazing with the red. And like I said, the other one, the reflective visor, is just so cool. I can't overstate that enough. It is a really awesome look. And then, besides them, you have the 3 main figures. You got the Anakin Skywalker, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Padme Amidala. All 3 of those look amazing and totally get their characters down to a T in minifigure form. Now, to oppose all these guys, there are 2 Super Battle Droids included, which I think this is also one of the last sets to have them. Now, this gunship was so good. Given that's based off the Episode 2 version, it does have the bubble turrets. It has a carry handle included, and it's perfect because it allows you to just swing it around, go in, drop your troops off, and it is such a fun play set as well as being just an amazing display set. This is definitely our best Republic gunship ever, and I'm not too sure if LEGO will ever top it. They've recently downsized the Coruscant Guard gunship, and they're probably going to stick with that. So this bigger size is probably gone forever, which is a shame because this felt like a true troop carrier. You could fit so many guys in there. You even had room for speeder on top of all those figures. It is just such a fun set and checks literally every box, from play to function to display. It's an ultimate set for basically anyone. Now, I'm sure all of you can agree with this number 1 pick, but if there's any other areas of the list where you thought I should have included a different set, make sure to let me know that down below. I'd love to hear what you guys thought and kind of what your favorite sets based off this movie were. So make sure to let me know all that down below. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.